So glycolipid. What is glycolipid? As the name suggests, when a carbohydrate residue binds with the lipid molecules, it called it as glycolipid. And the carbohydrate residue binds with the lipid molecules with a covalent bond. Now we divided glycolipid based on the presence of glycerol and sphingosine. So there is glycerol based glycolipid and sphingosine based glycolipid. In earlier we found that phospholipid are also divided into two types on the basis presence of glycerol and sphingosine. Here, so now first we discuss about the glycerol based glycolipid. So when we study about the glycerol based glycolipid, example arises out, that is called, the example is cardiolipin. So cardiolipin, it is important component of inner mitochondrial membrane. So if we study about the structure of the inner mitochondrial membrane, we can find the cardiolipin in inner mitochondrial membrane, where the enzymes of electron transport chain is present. It is also present in bacterial membrane. So how cardiolipin is formed? Phosphatidylglycerol and cytidine diphosphate diacylglycerol with the help of enzyme cardiolipin synthase, cardiolipin and CMP is formed. So these are the substrate. One is phosphatidylglycerol. This is a glycerol based phospholipid, binds with the cytidine diphosphate diacylglycerol with the help of enzyme CLS, cardiolipin synthase. It forms cardiolipin and CMP. Now we discuss okay. So now what is cardiolipin and what is the role of the cardiolipin? So as we know, the cardiolipin is a glycerol based glycolipid. So we know in the inner mitochondrial membrane there are complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4 and 5 is present, and with the help of those complex it is formed. The process is called electron transport chain occur, and the process is oxidative phosphorylation occurs with the help of enzyme. But enzyme need some prosthetic groups or other types of molecule to maintain its function as well as its structure. So cardiolipin is a type of glycolipid that fulfill the enzymes need to maintain its structure and function. So first, complex 4 or cytochrome C oxidase. So complex 4 is known as cytochrome C oxidase. Is a large transmembrane protein. It is a transmembrane protein, so it may contain the alpha helix structure. So this is another case found in bacteria and mitochondria. So bacteria also contain complex 4 or cytochrome C oxidase, as well as mitochondria contains cytochrome C oxidase. Now complex 4 has been shown to require two associated cardiolipin molecule in order to maintain its full enzymatic function. So if in the absence of two molecules of cardiolipin, the complex 4 does not function normally, or it to maintain its function it need two molecules of cardiolipin. So cardiolipin is an important component for the function of complex 4 cytochrome C oxidase. Not only complex 4 or cytochrome C oxidase, but later cytochrome BC1 complex 3. So complex 3 is known as cytochrome BC1, also needs cardiolipin. So cytochrome BC1 also needs cardiolipin. So cardiolipin, why? To maintain its quaternary structure and function and role. So generally the enzymes so a quaternary structure. So this the quaternary have to maintain. So enzyme try to maintain its quaternary structure, and functional role. So cardiolipin helps in the maintenance of the function and structures of cytochrome bc1, that is complex 3. Complex 5 of oxidative phosphorylation machinery also displays a high binding affinity for Cl. So complex 4 has a high binding affinity with the cardiolipin molecules. In case of complex 4, binding 4 molecules of cardiolipin per molecules of complex 5. So per molecule, so 1 molecules of complex 5 binds with the 4 molecules of cardiolipin. So this is the role of the cardiolipin. So main role of the cardiolipin is to maintain the structures of the enzymes which are present in the inner mitochondrial membrane. So now we discuss about sphingosine based glycolipid. Earlier we discussed about the glycerol based glycolipid. Now we discuss about the sphingosine based glycolipid. So we divided sphingosine based glycolipid in two types, like cerebroside and another is globoside or ganglioside. So what is cerebroside? Cerebroside, when a ceramide binds with a single sugar. So when a ceramide binds with a single sugar, it called it at cerebroside. So this is a basic structure of sphingosine based glycolipid, because a single sugar attaches with the cerebroside and it attaches with the ceramide. It called it as cerebroside. So we divided the single sugar. The single sugar may be a glucose or maybe a galactose. So we divided cerebroside in two types, glucocerebroside and galactocerebroside. So glucocerebroside, in case of gluco, there is a disease that is associated with the glucocerebroside, that is called Gaucher disease. So accumulate abnormally in Gaucher disease. What is accumulate? Glucocerebroside accumulates abnormally in Gaucher, in case of Gaucher disease, where glucocerebroside is absent. So there is an enzyme in the lysosome that is called glucocerebrosidase. So what is the role of the glucocerebrosidase? The role of the glucocerebrosidase is to cleave the sugar residues from the ceramide. So when the glucocerebrosidase is absent in the lysosome, the amount of the glucocerebroside increases abnormally, and that leads to an abnormal condition that is called Gaucher disease. The beta glucocerebrosidase is called it as housekeeping enzyme. It maintains the house of the lysosome, and its role is to dissociate the sugar from the ceramide. So this is the disease that is associated with glucocerebroside. Now what is the Gaucher disease? A very severe disease, and it has no cure. There are some treatment option for the Gaucher disease. We can divide Gaucher disease like cancer, stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3. The stage 1, there is some treatment or medication for phase 1 and 3, and there is some enzyme replacement therapy which is very effective in case of in the treatment of the Gaucher disease. Now galactocerebrosidase, when a galactose is attached with the ceramide, it called as galactocerebrosidase. So now globoside and ganglioside. So ceramide plus more than one sugar. The sugars are usually combination of N-acetyl galactosamine, D-glucose or D-galactose. So that's a type of sugar residue. When attached with the ceramide, it called it a globosides. So side chain, the next point says the side chain can be clipped by galactosidase and glucosidase. So galactosidase remove the galactose which is associated with the ceramide, and glucosidase removes the glucose which is binds with the ceramide. Now deficiency of alpha galactosidase A cause Fabry's disease. So Fabry's disease are associated with the globoside, and when the accumulations of the globoside occurred, it results in a disease that is called Fabry disease. This is an abnormal condition. So when Fabry's disease occurs, when there is an enzyme that is called alpha galactosidase A. So in absence of alpha galactosidase A, the accumulation of the globoside occurs, and due to accumulation of globoside there may form some abnormal conditions that ultimately leads to a disease that is called Fabry disease. So now it is about the ganglioside. So we divided sphingosine based glycolipid on the basis of which type of carbohydrate or how many carbohydrates are attached with the ceramide. So now we discuss about the ganglioside. So what is, first of all we have to know what is ganglioside, because gangliosides takes part in major functioning of our system, and it is a important component. So first, gangliosides are concentrated on cell surfaces. So where we can find the gangliosides are concentrated on the cell surfaces with the 2 hydrocarbon chain of the ceramide. Ceramide contain 2 hydrocarbon chain. So the 2 hydrocarbon chains are present inside, and the oligosaccharide residue located on extracellular surface. So gangliosides are concentrated on cell surfaces with 2 hydrocarbons of ceramide, and oligosaccharide which are associated with the gangliosides are located on the extracellular surface. These carbohydrate head groups also act as specific receptor. The carbohydrate residue which are present in the ganglioside acts as a receptor. So receptors for which? Receptor for pituitary glycoprotein. So there is some example of the pituitary glycoprotein is like luteinizing hormone, LH, or FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Those are pituitary glycoprotein. So gangliosides acts as a receptor for LH, FSH, and other pituitary glycoprotein hormones, and certain bacterial protein such as some toxins like cholera toxins also act as a ligand for this ganglioside receptor. So gangliosides act as a receptors for several types of pituitary glycoprotein hormones, and as well as some bacterial toxin. Now these now we divided ganglioside. What is the structure of the ganglioside? Ceramide plus oligosaccharide plus one or more sialic acid. So in case of ganglioside, we can see that there is sialic acid present, but in case of globoside there is no such type of sialic acid. So this is the difference between a globoside and ganglioside. Now, so gangliosides made up of ceramide, oligosaccharide, and one or more sialic acid. The sialic acid makes the head group of ganglioside anionic at pH 7. Due to presence of sialic acid, the head group of the ganglioside become anionic when we put that ganglioside in a pH 7. So that is the role of the sialic acid in case of ganglioside. So we divided ganglioside in three types, like GM1 ganglioside, GM2 ganglioside, and GM3 ganglioside. Here the M denoted the monosialate, means single sialic acid. In three cases of ganglioside, they contain only a single sialic acid, and two represent that suppose 1, 2, and 3. It's the sequence of the gangliosides that are discovered, like GM1, M denoted monosialate, 1 denote that it was the first monosialate ganglioside discovered. Now GM1 ganglioside. So first we elaborate that what is GM1 ganglioside and why it is so important. Because GM1 ganglioside is the binding site, acts as a binding site for cholera toxin. So GM1 content 1 sialic acid. Okay. Now GM1 act as site of binding for both cholera toxin, and there is another type of heat labile enterotoxin. What do you mean by heat labile? Heat labile mean anything that is heat sensitive. If we increase the heat temperature, the molecules become degraded. So that is why it is called heat labile enterotoxin. So GM1 act as a site for cholera toxin. What is cholera toxin? There is some elaborate process about the cholera toxin. There is a unique structure of the cholera toxin, how it bind with the GM1 ganglioside, and what is the cell signaling process in this case when cholera toxin binds with the GM1 ganglioside. We discuss it later, but in this chapter you have to remind one thing: the GM1 ganglioside is associated with the cholera toxin, and there are certain other E. coli heat labile enterotoxins are present. Now GM2 ganglioside. Now GM2 ganglioside associated with Tay-Sachs disease. GM2 ganglioside are associated with the Tay-Sachs disease. So suppose there is an enzyme that is called beta hexaminidase A enzyme. So if there is an absent or very low level of beta hexaminidase A enzyme, it leads to a Tay-Sachs disease. So hexaminidase A deficiency caused by mutation in the hexa gene. So hexa is a gene that encode mRNA. From that mRNA we can get the beta hexaminidase A enzyme or protein. So if there is some mutation in the hexa A gene, we cannot get hexaminidase enzyme, or if we can get truncated portion of hexaminidase enzyme, that is the function, so we can get non-functional hexaminidase enzyme. So in case of absent or very low amount of beta hexaminidase A enzyme that are associated with a disease that is called Tay-Sachs disease. So what is the role of hexaminidase enzyme? Hexaminidase enzyme has some role in brain and other nerve cells to work absolutely normal. So the brain cells and nerve cells depend on the beta hexaminidase A enzyme in some way. So if there is absent or very low amount of beta hexaminidase enzyme A, it leads to the brain cells and the other nerve cells to die. So this is so that can cause a severe nervous system disease that is called Tay-Sachs disease. Now we discuss on the ganglioside GM3. So GM3 is synthesized, says here, GM3 is synthesized in the Golgi apparatus. It inhibits cell growth, the function of the growth factor receptor, and generation of cytokine by T cells. You have to remember one thing, that GM3 ganglioside are associated with the treatment of cancer, because it has a role. It inhibits, because it inhibits cell growth, the function of growth factor receptors, and generation of cytokine by T cells. Cytokine helps in fight against the abnormal growth cancer cell, or leads to apoptosis of the cancer cell. So GM3 have a negative effect in the growth, in the abnormal growth of the cell, or it can regulate the growth of the cell. So GM3 is the important ganglioside that are associated with the treatment of cancer cells. There are several ways how to use the GM3 in case of cancer treatment. So this is the total sphingosine based glycolipid. What is the function of sphingosine based glycolipid? What are the type of sphingosine based glycolipid? So the sphingosine based glycolipids are important than the glycerol based glycolipid, also very important topic. But there are some disease that are like Tay-Sachs disease, how choledoxin attached with the GM1 ganglioside. So there are some disease which are associated with the sphingosine based glycolipid. So you have to remember those disease, and where and what type of sphingosine based glycolipid globosides or ganglioside associated. You also remember those things. The question is asked from those area most. If you like the video, please share. Thank you.